Can AI help us discover the unknown, things that we don't know, areas where we can do more research? Well, in this video, I'll show you how we can use AI to do gap analysis, to find research gaps and areas where we can contribute original knowledge and do research in areas that are under-researched. Welcome to Learning and Technology with Frank. I'm Frank, and here on this channel, we look at how we can use technology to learn and teach and be more productive. I'll put some links down below to our community as well. We have a community over on Skool where we talk about technology and purpose-driven technology use. So in this video, we're going to look at research, but not researching information that already exists, but looking for information gaps. Research gaps. A lot of times when we're doing research, we not only want to know what's been done, but we want to identify areas where there's opportunity for us to contribute to original knowledge by finding areas in the research where there's gaps, where we can go in and then begin studying and looking and researching those areas in order to be able to contribute to the body of knowledge around a certain subject. Now, for this video, we're going to use a great piece of software that I've talked about before on the channel called AnswerThis. And the cool thing about AnswerThis is that it does have a very special feature that will help us identify research gaps. Let's take a look. I've logged into my AnswerThis account, and I'm going to take a look at the intersection between virtual reality and artificial intelligence to see if there's any research gaps and an opportunity for me to contribute to the field of knowledge. Now, with AnswerThis, you can try it out for yourself. I'll put a link down below in the description. And if you are interested in upgrading to a pro account, I'll put this discount code in the description and somewhere here on screen so that you can get a bit of a discount when you do that as well, if you use that link. So with AnswerThis, I've done a number of videos on the channel around AnswerThis. It's one of my favorite tools for using AI in research. You can see I can do writing, I can maintain a library of papers, do searches, citation maps, diagrams. And what I want to look at here is I want to look at tools. Now I can either go here to the menu on the side to get to tools, or you can see I can explore tools here. So there's some tools for researchers, such as the citation maps and literature reviews. There's some popular tools like extracting information from PDFs, extracting data from multiple PDFs. Lots of great tools in here. The one that I'm interested in for this video is the Research Gap Finder. So let's click on that, and you'll see that I now enter the Research Gap Finder, where I'm going to be able to look for those missing areas, those areas where I can start working and doing some research. It's really good if I want to maybe find an area where maybe I'm looking for some funding, or maybe I'm looking for an opportunity to write a paper that has a higher chance of being accepted in a journal. This is a great example of using AI as a tool, as opposed to, it's not going to do the work for me, but it's going to help me do my work more effectively. One of the things that's really hard to do is when I'm doing any type of exploration and trying to find opportunities to do research, it can be very frustrating to have to do multiple literature reviews just to find out that the subject you're interested in exploring has been fairly exhaustively researched. I want to be a bit unique, so I want to find some gaps. So a couple of things, 4 points to bring up here. The first thing is you want to be specific about the research area. So as much information as you can give the system, the better results you're going to get. You want to make sure that you have relevant keywords from your field. You want to mention that you have specific approaches that you might want to use. And you can see that if you're looking for interdisciplinary gaps, you want to mention both subjects. That's what I'm wanting to do here. So let's take a look at VR and AI. Now, in terms of finding research gaps, I'm interested in the intersection of virtual reality simulations and their use of artificial intelligence in training simulations as related to the effective skill transfer to learners. I could massage this a little bit. I could probably make this a little bit better, and I could even use AI to help me do some wordsmithing on this to make it a little bit better. But let's take a look and see how AnswerThis responds to this, and if it can identify any research gaps that will help me find a topic of interest. Now, I really do like how quickly AnswerThis can retrieve these results. It will go through, it takes a little bit of time, but that's fantastic. It means that I'm not having to go through, pull a whole bunch of articles, identify where research has been done, and then somehow find in between all of that research where those gaps are. You can see it's bringing a lot of resources here. It's actually found 147 sources in there. It's going to pull those sources. What I really like here as well is that all of these sources have citations. What's really important when you do get citations from an AI system is that you have those DOI numbers, so you can actually go back to the original article. This will play a very important role if you are looking to publish and do your own original research. This will maybe be something where I can potentially go in and I can say, here is some information that I find is a gap that I would like to do research in. Maybe that's a part of a proposal process. So there's a lot of value here. And it's going to take its time, but it's going to do a very thorough job. Let me pause the video while we let it complete its work. Now, something I really like about AnswerThis is it will give us a partial knowledge here. So we get partial responses in here, but you can see that it's still generating more content. So it depends on your own working methodologies, but normally I would set this up, I'd have it going, and then I might, good opportunity for me to read an article or to maybe go grab a coffee, whatever the case may be. So let's actually do that right now. Now, that ended up being a little faster than I thought it. Right after I paused the video, it immediately came back with the answer here. So you can see here that I've gone in, I've put in my question that I'm interested in exploring. I've got a lot of capabilities here to extract data from the sources. I can do a bibliometric analysis, so I can save that. In my case, I was working on some podcasts in education, so I could save it to an existing project that I have, create new projects in here if I'd like. And if I go through and start taking a look at what's happening here, so I can see the result that was given back to me. So you can see that there's a good summary of what's happening when it comes to virtual reality and artificial intelligence and the adaptability of artificial intelligence in a virtual reality environment. I can go and see some of the feedback here. I can see some of the things that have been done, areas to look. There are some challenges to ongoing research that are identified in here. There's some emerging trends that are in here. And so this gives me a nice overview of areas that I might want to start exploring in more depth. Now, I also have my citation manager on the side where I can do things like bibliometric review or analysis. I can go in and I can extract data. I could choose a specific paper. I could choose multiple papers, and then I could summarize or chat with those papers to get information from specific papers or specific areas that I'm interested in. One of the things I like to do, I think I've already done this, is I'll go in and change the citation style. So in my case, I generally use APA style, but it depends what citation style you need for your particular purposes. I can go in and I can actually copy the citation, which is very useful, and I can actually refine the citation if I want a little bit. I can save it into my library, and I can even look at more details. I really like this feature because I can read the abstracts from the different papers that I'm doing, and that can be quite helpful as well. Now, of course, reading through this will help me identify any gaps in the research, but I can also ask follow-up questions. So I'll just ask the AI, what are some areas in the research that might require some more analysis? And it'll go through and process this and provide an answer so that I can start refining exactly where I may wish to do some exploration. And this is very useful. A lot of times when we are doing research, we want to do something that's not been done over and over again, or where there's a lot of research already done. We do sometimes want to replicate results. We sometimes want to see whether or not additional parameters in our research can affect the results. That's completely legitimate. But sometimes what we want to do is look for areas where there's maybe only been a little bit of preliminary research, or where there's an absolute gap in the research that we want to fill. So we want to be able to maybe look for some funding so that we can go in, we can get some funding to explore specific areas in the research. And my follow-up question has yielded some really interesting results where I can go through. There's some gaps when it comes to the ethical, societal, and data privacy implications of AI. That's what I would consider a usual suspect. We know that we need to do more research in that area. There's longitudinal and systematic impact in educational VR AR. So I can go through and see which of these sparks interest, which of these might fit with my existing research, which of these might exist or be something that I might want to help somebody else explore. So there's a lot identified in here. It was a really good follow-up question. I thought it was a little bit simplistic, but it turns out that it's actually yielded some really good results in terms of what I would like to look at next. So there seems to be a lot of opportunity in this particular area, and that's great. It's always nice when I find that a lot of times, this is my research tip here, if you look for the intersection between two areas, that's often where there's a lot of gaps, where we're looking at how do these things relate to each other, and that can be a very useful area to explore, a very useful or a fruitful field to go and find different areas where you can start exploring and finding new and exciting different research outputs or results. Finding research gaps using AnswerThis is quite easy to do, and it provides a lot of material that you can then explore further, including using AnswerThis to do that further exploration. I actually find it's a tool that I'm using more and more, especially if I want to gather a lot of information in terms of literature reviews or do some writing after I've synthesized some information together in order to assist me with the process of understanding different subject areas that I'm interested in. It's actually one of my favorite AI tools, and if you're interested, you can try it for free. There's a link down below. You can give it a try for free. And then I do recommend the pro version. It is quite useful, especially if you're involved in any type of academia or if you're trying to understand the world and you want more substantial research where you're actually pulling from different articles that you can then go and reference. It really makes that research process much more effective. One of the things I always say with AI is it won't do the work for you, but it'll do a lot of the work for you, which I mean that you'll still have to put your mind into it, you'll have to put your effort into it, but instead of taking 200, 300, 900 hours in order to do something, you can use AI to shorten that time frame so that you can use your critical and creative thinking much quicker, because a lot of the mundane or the synthesis work has been done by the tool. I can go on and on about that. So if you're interested, there's a link down below. Don't forget to use the code in order to get a discount if you do decide to upgrade. And don't forget to join our community. I've just started a new learning and technology community over on Skool where you can come in. It's a free community. You can come in and you can check it out and start talking with other people that also enjoy using technology to learn, teach, and for a purpose. We'll see you in the next video.